How much of a head start does Robinhood already have? It's become synonymous with the revival of retail trading, particularly in this pandemic year. So how much lost ground do you expect Webull to be able to make in the market?
Well, I don't think of it as lost ground, right? Robinhood started back in 2013. We just started 2.5 years ago. So there's a significant window where Robinhood had a head start, but they're also the trailblazers on zero commission. And they opened up this market, and we're just basically following in the trail that they blazed and doing it a little bit differently.
Right. Well, that's what I kind of mean, I guess, the early adopter advantage that Robinhood has. But let me move on to, I guess, the more concerning issue, which is the environment, the diplomatic environment between Washington and Beijing. We heard earlier today that the S&P indexes are planning to remove some of these major Chinese stocks from their indices because of that presidential executive order that was signed earlier. That relationship, particularly when it pertains to payments platforms, the financial sector, seems to be deteriorating. Do you expect that this is going to cause problems for Webull?
I don't at all, actually. And we spent a lot of time looking at that and the risks associated. But when it comes down to it, Webull Financial is a U.S. broker-dealer. We're regulated by the SEC and FINRA, and we're a completely separate entity than our parent company. Our parent company is a technology company that builds technology and enhances the app. Here in the U.S., we're simply a broker-dealer taking on U.S. customers, keeping all their data in the U.S., having all registered people in the U.S. deal with their account.
Well, Anthony, one of the things fueling your rise, of course, over the past year is the fact that we had this huge downturn in stocks. Then, boom, the rally comes back. We're going to end the year higher, it looks like, than we started. And you had a lot of people at home, even young people, jumping into markets, trading for the first time. What happens when the bull market plateaus? What happens, in fact, if we get eventually another correction or even a bear market? Is that the point where you better hope it's off in the future because it might stop your growth in its tracks?
I think if the bear market does come to an end or we see a plateau, what we're going to come out of this is a whole generation of smarter traders, especially smarter young traders who understand the financial markets much better than the generations before them did, because there's access now, there's low barriers, or sometimes in most cases zero barriers, and there's more educational content for them to learn. So when downturns do happen, they have the tools in their hands to navigate that correctly.
And what about financing, new rounds, et cetera? You know, people are saying if you really hope to become a unicorn, like some of the big IPOs we're seeing this week, that's what you need, more money.
Yeah, well, in a zero commission world and a zero commission brokerage, especially retail, the margins are extremely thin. So it's all about expansion and scale. And Webull's plans have always been since day one to expand globally, right, and expand as far as we can and as wide as we can. So funding is a big part of what we do. We are in conversations to expand our capital base and utilize that for expanding our business globally.
You talk globally. What are the geographic kind of focus that you're holding at the moment?
So right now, we're clearly in the U.S. We're doing very well, and we're very proud of where we come in the last 2.5 years. I think the next step for us will probably be directed toward the Asian markets, but we're not going to stop there. We see Canada, Europe, and South America as our target markets as well in the next 4 years.